Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, it is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome in, you guys. We have a interesting show for you today. Obviously, going to Tampa Bay. I'm watching the game right now, so I will be reacting to that while I'm also giving you guys some information this evening. As far as information I do have for you, got some NBA news to go over Miami. Orlando and Magic, see how those boys are doing over there. We got college basketball news, big game by the Gators over these last two W's they had since covering the first loss of the season to Kentucky. We'll talk about what they were able to accomplish against the Bulls. We will move on over into the NHL, and then I will save football for last. As I said before, I will be reacting to the game. Pretty much for the duration of the show, guys, so bear with me as I give you guys a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be a fan here in Tampa Bay. But keep it locked here on Palm Tree Sports Radio for all of your Florida sports needs, and we will be back to you after our intro. Again, this is brought to you in part by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you in a few minutes, guys. Welcome to Palm Tree Sports Radio, everybody. My name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, it is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Happy Sunday evening, you guys. Glad to have you here on the show. As I mentioned before, we are having a bit of a different show than normal this evening, guys. I'm going to be reacting to the game as going through the rest of the topics of everything in Florida sports that I have for you guys. And like I said, we'll travel to the NBA. We'll talk college basketball. We'll talk hockey as well, and then we will wrap things up with what's going on here in the NFL, guys. So just real quick, just a quick comment. It's 7-3 Washington right now. We are at home. It doesn't look good. In all honesty, it just doesn't look good right now for the Bucks at all. We're 3rd and 22 right there, and we just weren't going to convert that. The Bucks are not executing very well on offense, and they're struggling there on defense. I also don't really like the fact that Washington is getting some very generous calls right here. I mean, they've missed a couple already. They haven't called anything yet there, but it's a little frustrating kind of to see that at home and in the playoffs. You know, let's call a fair game, guys. Any case, though, let's get back on board with what's going on this evening. So, guys, like I said, just got a ton of things for you as far as what's going on there. And like I said, the NBA college basketball and the NHL. Our teams are playing very well right now, so that's something to be excited for. Orlando, Miami collecting W's. The Panthers lost, but the Lightning won. So that's always good. And of course, the Gators having a monster week this week. So we'll get into that and so much more. But first things first, guys, if you guys are looking for our handles on social media, guys, that would be on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is that you're doing, TikTok even. If you are on social media, you can find us at IE Sports Radio. That is at IE Sports Radio, guys. That is the umbrella for the social media platform that we have. And then obviously for my show, it will be at palmtree_IE. And it's the very same aspect that you would find IE Sports Radio, but that is my specific show at Palm Tree Sports. And then as far as the podcast, guys, if you guys listen to the podcast, obviously there are tons of ways to do that. Spotify, I use Apple Music or Spreaker, whatever have you. You can find us again at IE Sports Radio. That is at IE Sports Radio, as well as all the other shows that we have to offer here at IE Sports Radio, guys. And then moving on, right along, guys, we also have to get into messages from our sponsors. So our sponsors are, as always, Planet Jerky, the beef jerky that's on a whole nother planet. Seal the Deal wax seals by our very own Cecilia B. Shout out to her. Shout out to Larry. And then obviously we have partnered with Vital Apparel, which is a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. So use your code IE Sports or IESR, my apologies, IESR, to get 50% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear to help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. That's a big deal. I've been around mental health for a while, and it's not something that we talk about in America enough. So I think this is a really, really great partnership that we have. And I really encourage you guys to go check that out, especially if you're in the market for sports, where I always am. I'm wearing my hoodie is actually from when I was in the Army, guys, my Army patch right there. So so shout out to them. And then our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. You can getrawnutrition.com is the website, and you use promo code IESR for 10% off your order with them. And that's exactly what it sounds like, Raw Nutrient Supplements. So for those of you who are in the gym or gym rats, this is the perfect place for you to check it out. And like I said, use promo code IESR for 10% off, guys. But that is it. Let's go ahead and get into those messages from our sponsors. When we get back, we'll jump into the comments and dive into all the information that I have for you guys. Keep it locked right here at Palm Tree Sports Radio. We'll be back at you in a few moments.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
And just like that, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for joining me here on Palm Tree Sports Radio this evening. My name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, it's brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So, yes, guys, I'm still watching the game. 7-3 still score the ball game. Washington just crossed midfield. They're approaching the 40, and I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing here. The Buccaneers are having a hard time containing JD, and I don't know. The exotic blitzes aren't really working as well as they were to start the game. Clearly, JD has warmed up. He's playing very well. This kid, I knew he was always going to be phenomenal. He was phenomenal at LSU, destroyed my Gators. And so seeing him right now is more nightmares. Yeah, just more nightmares about JD and what he's doing on the feet. And we got him. There we go. Yeah, he's a set. Call it, guys. Come on now. Stop. That's why y'all see. That's the problem with the referees. They don't want to call the sack. They want to try to let him escape, and then he gets hurt, and then y'all are crying. So let's not do that, right? Check the comments, see what's going on here. T-Rod, what's up, my man? Glad to have you here on the show this evening. How you doing? Feeling nervous, confident about the Bucs so far. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Oh, wow. They called something on Washington. Oh, wait, no, they didn't. I lied. They called it on Tampa Bay. Yeah, the referees are in on this game. So that's my first answer to you, T-Rod. I was kind of feeling like that before the game, that Washington was going to get a lot of love. I think Vegas has Washington winning. I watched the Good Morning Football and then the one that they have for was what Good Morning Football, and then the one that was on NFL Network. And they all picked Washington to win the game. I understand Tampa Bay's still injured and Washington has gotten more healthy. I get that. Buccaneers did get a couple of guys back, but realistically speaking, I knew that was going to be the case. When I saw that Vegas had it, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to get ready for the referees to call the game a little slanted. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. I think there's now 5 accepted penalties on Tampa Bay with none to Washington. I mean, whatever, I guess. Whatever. Not really nervous. Just not super excited. I'm excited to watch my team play football. I'm just not excited that it's, win or go home and that this is this, circumstance that we're in. And the offense is clearly missing Chris Godwin right now. So, maybe more now than we have in all season. Honestly, all season. I'll just say it like that, guys. I think that we are missing Chris Godwin a lot right now. But yeah, not really nervous. Just not as excited as I wish I was. Yeah, Dad, we'll see you in the next moment. Glad to have you in the house, Dad. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into what I have for everything else before we get back to football. Okay, so first things first, guys, we're going to talk NBA first. So that means Miami Heat, Orlando Magic. The Miami Heat come away with the win against the Trailblazers. The score of that game was 119-98. They needed to win that game. First and foremost, the Trailblazers rocking a 13-25 record. The Heat rocking a 20-17 record, keeping their head above water. They have been doing that all season long. We need to see a little bit more from the rest of the bench and the rest of the team. Tyler Hero goes off 32 points. in 32 minutes, so it's a point a minute. It's pretty good for him. 5 and 5 for assists and for rebounds. So put on a really good night. Was able to score at will pretty much, and we need to see more of that from him. He's going to have to step up with everything that's going on. This team is going to be his now, from the standpoint of scoring, especially with what's going on with Jimmy Butler. Again, he's been suspended for 7 games, for those of you who did not know. So more of that information will come out as it comes out, but for the time being, it looks like he wants out of Miami, and you can't really blame him. So it's frustrating. It's sad. I always like Jimmy Buckets, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working out anymore, and that's where we're at with Miami. Miami is going to go see the Clippers in their next game. That's going to be tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. So they got the late game. They're going to be playing, again, the Clippers. It's 20-17, so about 20-17 teams. We'll see what happens there. Miami needs to try to continue the roll. And if they can do that, they'll find themselves climbing up into a few more spots and really putting themselves in a better position for playoffs once that time comes around. But again, they're going to have to do it without JB, and that's going to be not fun. Not fun at all, unfortunately. Kind of gotten accustomed to JB being part of this team and finding a lot of success, not to mention going to the finals against LeBron and the Lakers. Just wish the best for this team. Really just wishing the best for this team. Like I said, they've got some young guys that can play, but they're going to have to continue to gel and continue to get better, especially, like I said, off the bench, because I feel like they've struggled a little bit there all year. And they're getting better, but they've struggled. So we'll see what happens moving forward. This game with the Clippers, like I said, is going to be a battle of the team with the same record. So hopefully they can come up with a W there and make it 4 in a row, because they've won 3. And they've looked pretty impressive doing it behind Eric Spoelstra. So good job, Miami. Keep it up. We'll see what happens next. But that's it for now, and hopefully whatever comes out of the JB situation is what the team needs. In a situation like this, even though I like JB, I understand, and I've seen this across different sports, that sometimes a team loses a star player and they get better. And they get better because maybe there's less ego. I'm not saying JB has an ego, but maybe there's less ego. Maybe there's better fundamentals. Maybe there's not that situation where we're like, oh, we found success through funneling it down through this one person that we can no longer do it with. Chicago felt that way when Michael Jordan left them, and I don't think any team has really felt that way about LeBron or Kobe, but you get what I mean. Realistically speaking, that's just something to take in consideration moving forward for these two teams, or for this team, I should say, as they move forward. For Orlando, on the other hand, Orlando's in a different place right now, and I feel like I said the same thing last week. I didn't put the Heat banner up. I apologize for that, guys. But the Heat are in a slightly different place. Their record is a little bit better, and they found a lot of success last year. So here they are finding success again, and I'm super proud of them. Like I said last year, I did not expect them to find the success that they found last year as quick as they did, and yet I am glad that they did. And here we are now, where it's kind of expected of this young team. Right now, obviously, Franz Wagner injured, and then obviously Paul Blanchero was out for a while. It's frustrating, but they can do this. All right. This is a young team. They still have KCP. They still have a lot of threats over there on that offensive side of the ball. And I've said this time and time again throughout the week. They have to be better in transition, right? Because a lot of the time when we see Miami start to fumble, like they're shooting themselves in the foot. It's a young team, so it happens. But obviously this team knows what to do. They found success already, and they just need to continue to do that. And they have to get better on defense and in transition. When they're not playing well in those two categories, they lose. It's pretty much that simple. Out of the 18 losses, I think 14 of them literally show the same thing on tape. So take that in consideration. Do with that information as you will. But this team is very, very good. Not like like I said, where Miami has they have a balance, if you will, a very experienced head coach, a very experienced group of guys in there as well. You got to remember that Tyler Hero was a rookie when they went to the finals that year. So he's been doing this for a little while now, and he's not the only one, of course. Bam Adebayo, right? Kevin Love, all those guys over there. So Orlando, like I said, different place, still playing really, really good basketball. What they've done last year is it's continuing this year, and I'm glad to see it. They're currently losing. Well, they were losing, if somebody could throw that into the chat, to the 76ers, 77-73 at the end of the third. That was the time that the Buccaneers game started, so I kind of dropped off of paying attention to that game and started focusing here. And speaking of that, the Buccaneers just they're receiving the kickoff scores now 10-3 Washington. So For the Magic, like I said, lose to the 76ers. 76ers rocking a 15-21 record, and the Orlando Magic rocking a 22-18 record. So on paper, they're the better team. But unfortunately, they weren't playing like that. Like I said, if somebody could throw that score into the chat, I would like that update, please, and thank you. For the next game, they're going to go see the Bucks, who, ironically speaking, was the last team to beat them. They just lost to the Bucks, in fact, 109-106 last Friday, January 10th, I believe that was. And so they're going to go see them next. The Bucks rocking a 20-17 record. That game is going to be Wednesday, January 15th at 8 p.m. So get ready for that game, guys. It's going to be a good chance to see this Orlando Magic team, this young Orlando Magic team, go against a staple, if you will, staple, if you will, in the Eastern Conference. So looking forward to that game. We'll see what happens. Good luck, boys. We are rooting for you to go get that W, and hopefully that's what takes place there. Now the Magic have lost 2 in a row, so they really, their record should be so much better than what it is right now. But yeah, they've lost 2 in a row. Like I said, they're struggling. There's a lot going on, but hopefully they can figure it out here, and hopefully they actually come away with a win here against the 76ers. Like I said, last time I saw it was in the third. So Yeah. Okay. So I assume they did lose that game then. Okay, cool. So yeah, like you said, Dad, they're really struggling. Like they're really struggling. And yeah, they got to get healthy, right? We know that, obviously. We're not going to be the dead horse or anything like that, but we know they have to get healthy. So hopefully they're able to do that and ASAP, because they need to. They really, really need to. So Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield taking off, running with the football. He just smashed into 3 Washington football players, but it's coming back, and the referees are going to screw my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Guys, I'm not crying, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm crying, but I'm just sick of it. I have to admit, if you guys watch Buccaneer football, if you're in the Tampa Bay area, you notice that they call everything. They call everything. No, okay, so it's offsides on Washington. First accepted penalty comes with 1 minute and 8 seconds. Or no, not first accepted penalty. Actually, we declined it because Baker ran for 20. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 Washington defenders right there. Incredible. Yeah, so we still haven't accepted a penalty against Washington. Again, referees they're blowing smoke screens. They're only calling stuff on plays that don't matter. And again, we've seen this time and time again. We've seen this all year, every year. It gets old after a while. But hey, hopefully our boys can tie this game up before the half, and we can go in with a 10-10 with a clean slate and make some defensive adjustments. And if we can do that and find some success, we can win this game. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Check the comments real quick. Larry B, what's up, my man? Good to see you, brother. You know how it is. Yeah, we watching the game, just trying to not lose our minds over playoff Sunday. The Buccaneers really, really struggle in primetime too. I've mentioned that quite a few times, but they have always struggled in primetime games. So hopefully we can perform better than what we've been performing, guys. But let's go ahead and get into our first break of the evening. When we get back, we'll go ahead and wrap things up with college football and the NHL, and then we will get into the rest of the reaction that I have for this game. It'll be just before halftime by the time I come back. So just be prepared for that, guys. And then also keep it locked here. Like I said, Palm Tree Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that, and brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Like I said, first break of the evening, guys. Give me about 90 seconds and I'll be right back to you.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to Ball Street Sports Radio, everybody. My name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So how about that for those of you watching that bus game? How about that run, huh? Old man says, Moxie Man does it again on that run. I've been saying this since he came to the NFL because the Browns didn't run him that much. He would run on his own, but they wouldn't really call plays with the thought process that he could take off. And the Buccaneers are starting to come around to do that with Liam Cohen, and I'm so glad they're doing that. This is something that he was a very underrated prospect at, which is running the football. So I love to see Baker run it. As long as he's protecting that ball and protecting himself, I'm all for it. And, I love to see it. And that was an amazing run. And if they win that game, this will be one of those highlights that they show a couple of times when they let you know, yeah, he's a dog and that he really wants it. And he always has been, and I think he always will be. Love Baker, love the chip he plays with, and, Godspeed to him. Let's go Bucks. So the Gators, let's get excited about something else for a second. The Gators, okay? This team means as much to me as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers does. I absolutely bleed blue and orange. I love it, okay? Always. Like, all Gators, everything, okay? Now, the Gators have done something that no other college has ever done in college athletics, okay? Get ready for this, guys. So for those of you who watch the Rank 8 Florida Gators take on Rank 1 Tennessee Volunteers earlier this week, I caught the tail end of the match and was able to go back and rewatch all of the highlights. What an incredible performance it was by our Florida Gators. Our Florida Gators were able to defeat the Vols, 73-43. What does that mean in terms of the record that I was referring to? The Florida Gators are now the only college in NCAA history to defeat a Rank 1 team by 30 or more points. Okay. And the other game that we're talking about, guys, for those of you who may remember, now I'm 30. I may not look it, but I'm 30, which means I was a couple of years old when this game took place. But the Florida Gators were defeated by the Florida State Seminoles in the final regular season of college football. But they were able to go on and win the SEC championship and represent the SEC in the national championship game. In doing so, they would go against the Florida State Seminoles again. So in 2 times in a month that they end up playing Florida State. And in doing so, the score of that game was 52-20, I believe, was the score of that game. So it's a 32-point differential that the Florida Gators were able to put on the Florida State Seminoles, also encapsulating our very first college national championship, and an absolutely incredible moment for the Florida Gators as they were able to take down the Vols again, 73-43. And guess what? As soon as we start talking about that, the Buccaneers go march down the field and score a touchdown. Mike Evans drawing the pass interference and then catching the touchdown pass on the quick slant by Baker. What a dart that was by Baker, by the way, and an amazing catch by the timeless and the goated Mike Evans. If you guys don't have Mike Evans in your top 10, guys, you're just not watching enough football. I'm sorry. Okay, I know the top 10. I've watched all these guys play, from Jerry Rice to Steve Largent to Tim Brown to Randy Moss. Yeah, I get it. Terrell Owens, all those guys. Mike Evans sits among them. Okay, this guy's still getting it done, and he really is that damn good. So, good job, Mike. Appreciate you. Love you, boy. So, back to the Gators. Okay, stay with me, guys. I know. Stay with me. Back to the Gators, though. So, the Gators have now done that. There's such this amazing cognitive function that goes on with the Florida Gators athletic programs, it seems like, because we've found success, and we are blessed to have found success in all of the major sports and even some of the minor sports, gymnastics, track and field. Obviously, we've won college national championship, I believe twice it is. We've won a college national championship in baseball, men's baseball. In basketball, we have I think we have 2 or 3. I think it's 2 championships there. We have 3 in college football. So we do it a lot in a lot of different areas. And so this, just adding this to the resume, it's incredible. It's incredible. So the Gators down the Vols. That was the last undefeated team, left in college basketball. So monumental win for the Gators. who are sitting at rank 8. They dropped the rank 1 Vols. And so as a result, the SEC has been shaking up a little bit. Now we have a lot of one-loss teams in the SEC right now, and a lot of teams with a lot of promise. So, we're just going to have to wait and see how this thing all shakes out as we get closer to March Madness, which is going to be an exciting time to be a college basketball fan. I'm looking forward to seeing what takes place and who makes it and who goes deep. I think that the Vols, I think that Kentucky, and I think that the Gators all have teams that can dive way into, the Final Four, Elite Eight. I think that all three of those teams can make it, and I think there's probably one other SEC team that's going to have a shot to make it that far down. Duke is obviously a good-looking team right now. They're 14-2. Who else am I thinking about? We get the point, all right? We get the point. It's going to be an exciting time for college basketball. I can't wait to see who's going to make it, and I really hope that our boys perform well. The Noles are performing pretty all right. They're not doing too bad this season. They could do a little bit better, but we understand that they're not necessarily as bad as it could be. That's Miami. We'll talk about them in a second. But just before we go over to the Noles, guys, I also want to let you know that the next game for the Florida Gators is going to be against Missouri. That game is going to be Tuesday, January 14th at 9 p.m. So get ready for that game. A little bit – It's not a super late start time. I think that the other game was a 10:30 start time for the. So this is about an hour and a half earlier than what it was against the Arkansas Razorbacks. So we will see what happens there in that game. I think that the Gators have a good shot in this. Missouri's rocking a 13-3 record, so playing good basketball overall. But I think the Gators just have a better roster, and I think that they are in a zone. They're in the zone, the proverbial flow state, if you will. And I love to see my boys in that. For the record, too, also before we go over to the Noles, I want to talk about what we saw in that Florida Gators game. And what we saw were a couple of things. First things first, Clayton is a grown man. All right. Clayton is a monster. All right. The guy was in the paint. He was beyond the arc, and beyond the arc, he was chef kiss. Okay. We love to see more of that. We probably have the best, in all likelihood, we have the best backcourt in college basketball, and we have some really, really good bigs who also put in a lot of work there in that game as well. We did a tremendous job rebounding. We did a tremendous job in the second half at giving ourselves second chance shots. We were excellent in transition. We were excellent on defense, obviously by the score of the game. But more importantly than that, we played Florida Gator basketball. And you know what that is? That is penetrating. That is shooting well beyond the arc. That is transition. And that is very physical defensive football, basketball. I apologize. That is very physical basketball. The type of basketball that the Vols are known for, but the Gators tried, tested, and true over many decades of this has returned to form. And I'm super excited for the Florida Gators in this college basketball season and where it's going to take us during March Madness, guys. So I wanted to just put that out there, having watched the highlights and the end of the game, that it was extremely impressive to watch this team play this way. And it just goes to show you that they can play with anybody and that they can win this whole thing. Go Gators. For the Noles, okay, so the Noles, as I said before, the Noles aren't playing bad basketball. They're just not playing great basketball. They're sitting at 11-5, okay, which is not bad. It's middle of the road, but they're not who they should be right now. They're not, and that's kind of a disappointing factor. So when looking at that right now, they lost their game to Clemson. Clemson rocking a 13-4 record, so they're playing pretty good basketball, close to the top of the ACC. But they lost that game 77-57 yesterday. Like I said, Clemson just in a better state for sports, and probably just a better state for college sports at the moment right now than Miami when we're talking ACC, right? So obviously they played Miami. They destroyed Miami in that game. Score of that game was 80-65. That game was Wednesday, January 8th. That was the game we talked about last week. So as we expected, it's pretty much exactly what we thought would happen. Miami's still struggling to get their feet underneath them and to figure out how the pattern of success is going to come to them. They haven't been able to do it on either side of the ball. They've struggled to score. They've struggled to defend. They've probably done slightly better on the offensive side of the ball. If I had to choose, if I had to say, hey, which one do they have to improve on more? It's definitely defensively. Transition is kind of non-existent for Miami. They a really small amount. I want to say few, but a really small amount. Just a little bit more than a few fast breaks that they can find success on. But for the most part, they've been their biggest enemy, their own biggest enemy, if you will. So the Noles, again, on the other hand, they're trending upwards, right? So last year we weren't sure what was happening. They started the season off rocky. They really started to figure out in the second half towards the end. And then Miami started off, and we thought they were going to be special, and they were terrible. So what a revelation, right, for these two teams to be at where they are. And this is the first meeting of the season. I think they'll play each other again. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. But again, the Noles, they lost that game against Clemson, but they were able to beat Miami. Miami is rocking a 4-12 record. So they're playing terrible basketball right now. I mentioned that already. But the next game for the Noles is going to be against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh working a 12-4 record. That game is going to be Wednesday, January 15th at 9 p.m. So get ready for that game. If you're looking for Noles basketball, you shouldn't be. You should be looking for Gators basketball. But if you're looking for Noles basketball, if that's your jam, have fun. All right. Add peanut butter, whatever. Do as you please. But that's when the game will be on. Let's see. Back to the chat real quick. It's great to be a Florida Gator. And I said it's great to be a Florida Gator. I said, okay, so tied at 10 at halftime. Mike Evans is a beast. Come on, man. We know. If you don't know, now you know. All right. Or what did they used to say? What did that old wrestling team used to say? Oh, you didn't know? Yo ass better call somebody. I had to throw that out there for those old heads who remember Road Dogg and the boys. Gators should be in the top 5 tomorrow. I mean, they should have been in the top 5 after knocking off the Noles, but what do we know, right? I know it's the same week. I don't care. They should have just did it immediately is the point that I'm making. Yes, I'm that guy, right? Like I'm going to be that guy. Prayers to our peace in SoCal. Yes, Uncle Brian and the rest of the fam, guys, we hope that you guys are okay and that you're staying safe and that you have gotten to safe locations and have everything and anything that you need at your disposal. I love you guys, and we're praying. We are praying for you guys. May the best come out of this situation. As terrible as it is, may the best come out of this situation. All righty. Moving on along. We got Tony Dungy in the building. Tony Dungy, longtime head coach of the Buccaneers back in the 1990s, early into the 2001 season. Okay. We love Tony. Tony was the one who created the defense that pseudo won us the Super Bowl. I say pseudo won the Super Bowl because one of the things that we don't take into consideration is that John Gruden's offense actually erupted in the Super Bowl. We had over 100 yards rushing. We had Keaton McCardell scored 2 receiving touchdowns on a day where Brad Johnson looked very good, and pretty much everybody looked good. I couldn't tell you where they didn't look good. Well, special teams, maybe. Let's say special teams, they struggled a little bit there. But if you guys remember that Super Bowl, tremendous Super Bowl for that Buccaneers team, and shout out to Tony Dungy. I always felt like they should have gave him a ring, for assembling that team. He did draft, Derek Brooks and Rondé Barber, Ryan Kelly, Simeon Rice, Booger McFarland, Dexter Jackson, that whole defense was primarily Tony Dungy. So in any case, though, moving on along to wrap up what I have for you in college basketball, guys, Miami, let's face it, right? I was trying not to talk about Miami. They're not playing very well at all. Again, 4-12 be the record for Miami. They could probably only buy a win if it was BOGO at this point. Okay. And they're not. So it's really, really tough to watch this team right now. Again, we thought this team was going to be something special last year, and they're not. There's not a whole lot more to say about that, right? And it's not like the same thing that was going on in college football for them, where we weren't sure how good they were going to be, and they ended up being really, really good. This is different, right? So this team, again, though, just going through some struggles, and they need to get some young talent and just cultivate, right, and then develop. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. I don't think the transferring players are going to come in and really make much of a difference. I don't think a lot of players want to play at Miami right now, especially when you look at what these other two teams are doing in Florida. Shoot, what FAU and FIU are doing, right? Yeah, those teams have been playing good basketball over the last decade or so as well. With a Cinderella story coming from FIU FIU a couple of years ago. So just take that into consideration when you're thinking about college basketball and where Miami right now is on the totem pole to play in the state of Florida. Florida Gators' best team, obviously. For Miami, they lost to Wake Forest 88-78 yesterday. Wake Forest rocking a 12-4 record, one of the better teams in the ACC. Pretty much what you expect to happen during that game. I didn't expect Miami to have much of a shot, and they didn't. So it is what it is. They lost to FSU before that, 80-65. We talked about that earlier. Again, they just really didn't have a chance in that game, and I don't think they're giving themselves much of a chance. They're fighting, but they just can't finish. They can't hang, and they can't finish. They're going to have to fix that, and that's also slightly a coaching issue as well. So maybe they need to make some changes up at the head office, and then perhaps that'll bring some success to Miami. But right now, it's not it. Next game is going to be against Duke, rank 4 Duke. All right, rest in peace, Miami. Good luck to you boys, but I don't see you guys beating the team in blue. So, again, good luck. Rank 4 Duke coming to the building. They're 14-2. They're playing some of the best basketball that's being played in the ACC right now. So, congratulations to Duke on another successful start to the season, and hopefully that continues for them. But much to the chagrin of the Miami Hurricanes, that may land them into a 4-13 hole as far as the record is concerned, and it's just not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. Tuesday, January 14th, 9 p.m. be the start time of that game. Again, Tuesday, January 14th, 9 p.m. is going to be the start of that game, guys. Go check it out if you want to watch some Miami basketball, but you shouldn't be looking for Miami. You should be looking for the University of Florida. All right, guys, here we are in the latter part of the show. Let's check the comments again. Lightning playing hockey, now up 3rd in the Atlantic and 6th in the Eastern Conference. Pretty good. Keep going. It's pretty good. All righty. Panthers is above them. Yeah, they are. Panthers are sitting at 2nd in the second in the Atlantic and 3rd in the East, I think it is where they're at. I believe it is. If I saw that correctly. Bolts hockey returning to form? Question mark. Bolts hockey returning to form. They're 3-1 over the last 4 games. Convincing win against the Penguins. 5-2 be the score of that game. That game was yesterday, I think it was. Penguins rocking an 19-8 record. There's a lot of overtime right there. Bolts rocking a 23-15-3 record. Like I said, 3-1 over the last 4. This is what we knew what they could do, right? You know, when they're playing to the best of their abilities, it's going to be hard to stop them. That's been the signature of the Bolts over the last few years, and that really hasn't changed at all. And we're just glad to see it right now as they've been continuing to return to action. The next team they're going to go see is the Bruins, who just put a beating on the Panthers the other night, actually in overtime. And they're going to go see them Tuesday, January 14th at 7 p.m. So you got a 7 p.m. start time for the Bolts game, and then you have the 9 p.m. start time for college basketball. So if you guys are in the market, you're going to be flipping the channel a little bit for about an hour. Like I said, 3-1 over the last 4 games. This team has done a really, really good job stifling, but scoring when they have the puck, scoring on the power play. I love that. I'm a huge fan of power play, so I always feel like you got to make that count, especially when numbers on your side. So they're able to do that, need to continue to do that. If they will, they'll find themselves in the playoffs again for the seventh year in a row? Seventh? I think it's 7th year in a row if they continue down the trend over the last 4 games. So good job, Bolts. We're looking forward to you guys putting a whooping on the Bruins and get that W back for the state of Florida and for the Panthers. And just continue to find success, continue to keep doing what you're doing. Vasilevsky, best goalie in the league. I'm going to stand by that. I'm always going to believe in that. And I'm just looking for another great performance from our Tampa Bay Lightning. So good job, boys. Good job. Panthers suffered a loss to the Bruins. Now, the Panthers are rocking a 25-15-3 record, slightly better than what the Bolts are rocking with. Explains why they're ahead in the Atlantic and Eastern Conference Division. They're looking to make the playoffs again for the 5th time in a row, I believe it is. And if everything continues on, they shall. But again, with the struggling that they have had over the last 4 games, they're 2-2. All right, and that's been 2-2 has been pretty much what they've been for the last month and a half, guys. So take that in consideration when you're thinking about this Panthers team that is defending Stanley Cup finals, or Stanley Cup champions, my apologies, that they're going to have to perform a little bit better if they are going to make another deep run into the postseason and to another Stanley Cup. So go Panthers, go Bolts. You guys are going to go see the Flyers tomorrow at 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. start time just before Monday Night Raw. For those of you who are watching, I watched it, by the way. It was pretty good. The main event wasn't the main event, but yeah, so the Flyers were rocking 18-20-5 records, so sub 500. That means that the Panthers are going to have a chance to pounce on this team and really get back into the winner's column and try to stack some W's right now, which they need to do. 2-2 over the last 4 and 4-4 over the last 8. Going to have to do better than that, boys. But the Panthers can do it. They have the roster. They've just got to continue to do what they do, and that's just be dominant on both sides of the puck. And normally when they're winning, they're not letting the other team score as much, and they're not getting into overtime. That's another thing, too. The Panthers tend not to go to overtime, and that's something that's been a struggle for them when they have gone to overtime. That's why there's only 3 overtime losses there on their card. But yeah, that's it right there for the hockey side of things, guys. So now we are going to, for the next couple minutes or so, we're going to talk about what's going on here with this Bucks game as we are returning from halftime. I spaced that out perfectly, so it's pretty much exactly how I thought it would go. And so the Buccaneers did not win the coin toss. Washington did. They deferred, and so now they are getting the ball to start the second half as the kickoff is being sat on in the back of the end zone, and they will take it out from the 30. So 25, 30, one of those two. That's where we're at right now, guys. If you guys are like me and having a little bit of drink, a toast to you guys, and a toast to the Buccaneers making the playoffs, a toast to Mike Evans reaching 1,000 yards for the 11th season, a toast to the new year for all of you guys who are celebrating anything special going on, or any New Year's resolutions that you guys are working on. A shout out to all of those people who are making those changes. I am one of them. And so walk this path together, guys. I'm in the chat. If you're in the chat, holla at me. Let's see. So we got swing pass out to the running back. It's a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-yard gain there with Antoine Winfield making the tackle. Having Antoine Winfield back is really, really good. He's really, really good. The issue that I'm concerned about is that this team has found a lot of success without Antoine Winfield, especially on defense over the last four weeks, I think it is, only allowing so many 9 points in the second half over the last 3 games, I think it is. I'll drink to that. I will drink to that. Todd Bowles' defense seems to just figure stuff out at halftime. We're going to see if that's the case here. We got a 3rd and inches here for the Washington Commanders, and JD is under center, and he's setting somebody in motion. This is awkward. I don't like this. What are they trying to get? Yeah, QB sneak. That's what I figured. He gets the first down on the sneak. Copycat. Got that from the Eagles. It wasn't a tush push, but it was the other quarterback. Oh, Marcus Mariota did it. Seems like a bit much. Do you guys remember Marcus Mariota, where he went? Y'all remember where he went to college? Oregon. He's a duck. Beat Florida State that one year. You guys remember that? Jameis Winston was that quarterback. All righty. Buccaneers stopped the run for a yard. A yard only on first down. Second down, 9. Approaching midfield are the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn, screw you. We don't like you. Never did. Never will. So Dan Quinn coached for Atlanta. Atlanta's a division rival for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, of course, we don't like him at all. I actually like the Washington football team more than I like him. And I don't really care for the team. I don't hate them, though. They're not like, oh, get them. Bust them. Come on, man. How y'all going to leave these people wide open? Jesus Christ, Antoine, you got trucked. Oh, no, that wasn't Antoine. Thank God it wasn't Antoine. Who was it? Who got trucked? Mike Edwards. Oh, man, I don't expect Kentucky Kentucky players to get trucked like that, bro. That is not normal. Who was out of position? Somebody wasn't covering their guy. Yeah, you got ran over, bro. That's not good. Come on, defense. We need to find a way to create some turnovers. That's really what the issue is. Over the last few weeks, we've gotten away with it because we haven't had to really worry about, and that was a terrible defensive scheme right there, guys. Terrible. Yeah, we're not forcing turnovers, and we need to. We need to hit something. We need to hit something. We need to jar football loose. We need an interception. We need something. We're about to give up a touchdown here. They're got it first down and goal inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line, guys. Yeah, Diaby on the tackle. Come on, boys. Let's get a pick here. All right. Yeah, there's the ISO, right? That gets stopped. Okay, you're ahead of me, Dad. Or you might be ahead of me. I don't know. But yeah. He does need to be stopped. It's probably where they're going again. Whoever it was that was in coverage couldn't cover him before. Why would they be able to cover him now? Oh, no. Okay, so second down, throw incomplete, third down and goal. This Washington team is a very patchwork team with a lot of pieces in various locations from various places. I mean, Austin Eckler, didn't he play for the Rams at one point? Right? Terry McLaurin drafted by this Washington team. JD drafted. Rookie Zach Ertz played for the Eagles, I think it was. Don't like the Eagles. Not really. Oh, get underneath that football, man. Buccaneers have it fourth in goal. Looks like, are they going to kick the field goal here or are they going to go for it? They've been going for it all night. Jamel Dean with a tremendous defensive pass breakup. Kept his eyes, and that's one of the good parts when you get down there by the goal line is it becomes a lot easier. So for those of you who played football, you guys know what I'm saying. I played a little bit of cornerback. I was a better safety than cornerback. When you get down by the goal line, it stifles the space that is normally there that could be used for wide receivers to run certain routes. And it's one of the things that people don't understand is, well, why don't you just have your wide receivers run these exotic routes? There's not enough space, right? For a lot of routes to develop, you need between 8 and 15 yards for a lot. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It just really depends on where you're at and what you're trying to accomplish. But again, you get down to that goal line, you can't have these plays that have your guy, going that way like it's Forrest Gump or something, right? Like at some point you have to run some type of finish to the route, whether it's a hook, whether it's a slant, whatever the case may be, deep post route, all that. And you run out of space to be able to do that. So it really favors the cornerbacks. And then especially when you know that you're dealing with a one-dimensional team. I'm not going to say Washington's a one-dimensional team, but the Buccaneers are known for what? Stopping the run. So it's very much so make them a one-dimensional team. Now that dimension happens to be the weakest part of our team, which is cornerback position. But realistically speaking, you're still finding a lot of success when you do that because a lot of teams that find success on offense do so running the football. Yeah, of course they're going to pass the ball, play action. Tom Brady made a career out of it. But in order to do that, you got to have some type of running game because that is the great equalizer. That is the great, if all those fails, we could just turn into the Baltimore Ravens and hand the ball off to Derrick Henry for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns, by the way. Who doesn't want to do that? And so again, great run game, great defense. That's the recipe for success, guys. That's the recipe. So hopefully the Buccaneers continue to utilize great defense as the score is now 13-10. The Buccaneers are about to get their first possession in the second quarter or second half. My apologies. And then we're going to see what happens with Big Bake. We are going to see what happens with Big Bake. Guys, talk to me. What's going on, guys? Talk to me in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Any opinions that you guys have on the game. Am I missing anything? I feel like these are two really, really good teams. They played each other in the first week of the season. I think that JD was phenomenal at LSU, and I think that he's going to continue that on here. The Buccaneers have a history of playing against very good dual threat quarterbacks, but not always playing well against them. Hopefully this can serve as a change to that, as we have not beat Lamar Jackson one time yet this year, since he's coming to the NFL, and we have struggled against the other dual threat quarterbacks that have played. There's a lot less than there used to be. But if you guys remember Mike Vick, Donovan McNabb, were two really, really handy ones back in the early 2000s. The Buccaneers had a lot of experience through a lot of years of playing against those guys and a few others. So hopefully some of our coaching staff can kind of tap into that greatness that we had on defense then and utilize that now. And they're trying to do it with pressure. Todd Bowles does like to blitz, so there's no surprise there that he's getting after the quarterback. But he's going to have to start making these blitzes a little bit more effective and less creative. And I say that to say that he's got it. Like he knows what he's doing, but he's not always making the right calls defensively when they need to be made. So hopefully he can make that adjustment. Hopefully he did make that adjustment at halftime, and hopefully this offense comes out and they're potent. And as we get a run out here from Rachaad White, and he runs right into a guy. Yeah, I could have just sat on it. If he was going to do that, could have just sat on it. Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore, a rivalry that dates back to the what season? Was it 2014, 2015? Is it 2015 or 2016 season when they draft him? I want to say it's like 2016. Marshawn Lattimore is a very yeah, that's a face mask. Oh, goodness, he got body slammed. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think Rachaad White's very good this year. I think he's been relatively terrible, but we're going to get a face mask call right here on we're going to get a face mask call, yeah. That was all face mask. We all saw that. Oh my God, that's terrible. Well, I guess that explains why he got body slammed the way that he did. That was a oh my God, try to kill this man. Those things scare me because, like, what if they break their neck, bro? Like, right, and I'm not wishing that on anybody, but that's why those not penalties, but those kind of situations scare me because it's never good. It's never good. Anyway, Marshawn Lattimore, great defensive back. I won't deny that. He's had his moments where he's been tremendous. I will say that earlier on, Marshawn was getting the better of him, but when Tom Brady got here, Mike was just so good at oh no, they stepped on his finger. Mike Evans got really, really good at he's always been good at boxing out, but he got even better at being effective in those one-on-ones. A lot of the time they would leave Marshawn on an island with Mike, and they always felt like that he would always have, always get the better part of Mike. And that's not always the case. I think that a lot of play design had to do with it. And I think that also there was a little bit of emotion for Mike. I think that Marshawn probably had a lot to say all the time. They always went back and forth, but I'll never forget that one time where Marshawn Lattimore was on the Buccaneers sideline. He's jawing at Jameis, and Jameis trying to tell him, hey man, take that, go that way, go get on your side, do that over there, don't do that over here. He has a right to say that. He does have a right to say that, okay? I mean, there's a reason why there's two different sides for the teams. Now, obviously, can't be getting emotional, but it's not like we can really look at him and say, oh man, he's wrong for feeling that way. No, he's not. He's not. He has the absolute right to feel that way. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So, Lattimore's going back and forth with Winston, and Mike isn't feeling it. Mike blasts him. He just cracks him. And from that point forward, it was always just a physical meeting between those two. And here we are. They're a lot more mature, but it's been very physical up until this point. Marshawn Lattimore had the PI called on him because, let's be honest, nobody can guard Mike. Nobody can guard Mike. It just doesn't exist. Matter of fact, here we go. Big Mike. What I said. Big Mike. Okay? He's really big. He's really, really big. Okay? Nobody can guard him. You can't guard him. You can try. Mike Evans went to Texas A&M University. Had Johnny Manziel throwing him the football. Guys had a hell of a football career, huh? Johnny Manziel beat Alabama. You guys remember that when Texas A&M beat? I think they were ranked 1 at the time too. Texas A&M upset ranked 1 Alabama. Johnny went crazy. Mike had him a day. Didn't get a chance to pay for that national championship because unfortunately they ran into the Florida Gators. Oh, Bucky, talk to me, Bucky. First down run off left guard inside the 20. Big Bucky. Oh yeah, feel yourself, Buck. What you guys think, man? That guy's a perfect Buccaneer, ain't he? Bucky Irving, huh? That sounds like a pirate, don't it? That's to me, that sounds like a pirate. Speaking of pirates, I got my little Buccaneer gear on underneath my hoodie. But I love Bucky. You guys have heard me talk about him since. Listen, when we drafted him, me and my dad were talking about it. I was like, yo, did we really got him that late in the draft? You guys don't watch Oregon football at all? And then you go look at his tape, and he's just a monster. He's just a miniature monster, Tasmanian devil when he has the football. The man just bounces off a contact. It's absolutely incredible to see him play this game at such a high level. And I'm so glad he's a Buccaneer, and I hope he just remains a Buccaneer his entire career. And I look forward to him putting this ball in the end zone. Hey, listen, we're close, all right? He goes off ISO up the middle on first down. He gains 8. What was that, 7, 8? Bucks got a second down. They can get a first down before the end zone. So here we go. Out of the pistol, Bucky goes up right up the middle. Right up the middle. Really making Bobby Wagner go from being the guy that's closing into the hole to following him after the hole, which is why he has so many yards after contact. Here we go, Buck. Here we go, Buck. First down, Buccaneers. First and goal, 3-yard line, or 2.5, if you will. Come on, Liam. That's boy wonder right there. So here's a theory for all of you guys who are wondering what's going on with the coaching, not coaching carousel, but the coaching situation here in Tampa Bay. Oh, but yeah, they saw that coming. Come on, guys. We got it. I don't think we go off guard right there. I think we play fake that, guys. I think we should play fake that right there. All right. I don't think we try to go off right guard. There's no reason to fire Todd Bowles. But if Liam Cohen's ready to be a head coach, I think Jason Light we can't lose Liam. I don't care what people are saying about, oh, the offense, this, and they'll still be good. They still have – no, you guys. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense has never looked this good. Okay? We put up 40 points 3 separate times this year. When was the last time Tampa Bay did that? He's out of bounds. I think the answer to the question is never, for the record. We got close, I think. With Tom, we scored. I might be wrong. Actually, we might have done it with Tom. Oh, okay. They did give us the penalty. Oh, good. It was defensive holding. I mean, that is true. That ball came out super duper late because he got held in his route. So you watch him here. Oh no, this isn't even the one that I saw. Okay. Oh yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, that's like. If hijacking a football player was a thing, that's what that was. Like he was trying to hijack him or something. Big Vita Vea is in there, guys. Big number 50 in the offset eye off right guard. Oh, yeah, I want to see this. Dang. I think they were trying to pass the ball to Vita. I really think they were trying to get Vita the ball right there. That could have been fun, but it was kind of disastrous. Let's see what's happening right here. So Vita's on offset eye off right guard. Who we got? Payne Durham here blocking. He takes on the block. He's trying to get in position. They're trying to score him a touchdown. It's something for them to think about, right? Yeah. Vita's like, throw it up. I can get up there. Oh, I love Vita. All right, here we go. Second and goal at the 4-yard line. There you go. There you go, big Buck. There you go, big Bucky. Oh, I love it. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Buccaneers take the first lead of the evening. Second half, Tampa Bay. Good call, Liam. Good call, boy wonder. Oh, I love it. Yeah, Bucky, man, let me tell you something. JD's rookie of the year. Okay. JD is rookie of the year. But the rookie of the year does not have to go to whoever the best offensive or best defensive rookie is, which is what I love about that. I think Bucky Irving's offensive rookie of the year. Okay. I think that JD is the overall rookie of the year. I think that of all the rookies that have had impact, that his impact has been the greatest on this Washington Commanders team. I think that the best overall rookie player is Bucky Irving. That's what I think. If that makes sense, guys, if that makes sense. Like I said, there's an overall as based on impact for the team, which could be from either side of the football, but for just an offensive purpose, just plug in play offense, Bucky Irving's the best. Because we've seen him do it, and his stats don't even reflect that he didn't start the first half of the season, guys. That's the other thing that you guys have to remember. So the Buccaneers we had Leonard Fournette. Okay, if you guys remember that. We had Leonard Fournette, and then Rachaad White comes in, and he takes Leonard Fournette leaves, right? Like he's signed with Buffalo. We haven't seen him since. He says he's going to play next year. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I love Leonard Fournette, but he left, okay? So Rachaad White took the starting job and never looked back. Well, now Rachaad White is on the back end of that, and he's lost his starting job to Bucky Irving. But understand this. Of those three running backs that I just named, Bucky has something that neither of those other two have, and that's a smaller stature. So Leonard Fournette's a bigger guy. He walks around like 240-ish, give or take. Rachaad White's a bigger guy. He's not 240. He's about 230, 225, 230, but he's taller. Bucky is a smaller guy. I think Bucky goes 5'10". Is it like 5'9", 5'10", somewhere around there? I think he's 5'10". And he sits at like just under 200 pounds. He's like 195. And his ability to shed contact is Bucky Irving reminds me of a little bit of Le'Veon Bell. One of the most legendary running backs we ever saw do it. One of the greatest running backs, in my opinion. I thought that his patience and his shiftiness, his ability to stop and accelerate was just on a different level. And then before that, the guy that reminded me of, I would have to say, would be Marshall Faulk. So I think in turn, what I'm saying is that Bucky Irving kind of reminds me of Marshall Faulk. Coming out of the backfield, he's an absolute stud. And then obviously behind the line of scrimmage, he's got a great vision, which was probably the biggest asset that all of these running backs have had that I've mentioned. His vision is incredible. Absolutely incredible, guys. Absolutely incredible. All righty. That's right. Buck football is back. All right, defense. Offense did their job. Time for you guys to do yours. Kick off. End zone, sit on it. Oh, excuse me. So here we go. 4 minutes, 31 seconds left in the third quarter. Yeah, I see what you said there, Dad. Jalen McMillan absolutely get 2 for 1 right there. Yep, gets a 2 for 1. And he doesn't really make any contact either, so there's no illegal pick or anything like that. He's just running his route properly, and that's what happens when you do that. All right, boys, let's get the JD. That was almost picked off. Hold up. What is the penalty for? Holding defense number 35. God. Jamel, you weren't even in the play. What are you holding for, bro? Early. Okay, I don't see anything wrong here. I don't know. That was kind of weak. That was a little weak. I see it. It was a little weak, guys. It was a little weak. Come on, defense. We need a turnover, boys. We need a turnover bad. We want to get on top of this. It's time to run away. JD keeps off left guard. Just got 6. Love a dual threat quarterback. I just hate when they play against my Bucks, man. JD's got some skills. And he kind of tough. He got messed up a lot in college. If you guys watch JD at LSU, he got hit a lot. Tough kid. Toughness only gets you so far, though. Yeah, I remember when Mike Vick started playing for the Eagles. He still ran, just nowhere near as much as he did early in his career. He got smarter. Jamel Dean cannot cover Terry. Terry is carving us up. So wait, so McCollum gets injured. Now Jamel Dean is injured on back-to-back plays. And I guess this is a perfect time to address that part. The Buccaneers have not been healthy 100% this entire season. They're not 100% now. We're missing our slot cornerback, Christian Izien, who's also a hybrid safety and has played phenomenal football for the better part of the last couple of months before his injury. Jordan Whitehead was in a car accident, so he's pretty much not coming back the rest of the season. If we win, that is, today. Chris Godwin, out, free agent. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But yeah, really hurt on the defensive side of the ball. Really, really hurt. It's been a lot of rotation, been a lot of sign guys to practice squad, elevate them, they play, put them back on practice squad, cut them, repeat. There's been a lot of that. So yeah. So for those of you, my dad mentioned that it was a neck injury in that accident for Jordan Whitehead. Jordan Whitehead was hurt right before. So Jordan Whitehead signed with Tampa Bay, played a couple of games, got injured, came back. A week or 2 weeks later, car accident. Can't make it up, guys. I can't make it up. It's just really, really frustrating to see how hurt this team is. But they're fighting. This Buccaneers team, man, and I've seen people say it on social media. I've had a lot of people I've been talking to on Twitter and Instagram, and we all agree. This team may not be the best Bucs team ever assembled, but this team is fun. This team is a lot of fun. And they are some fighters. There are some dogs on this team, offensive and defensive side of the ball. I think the key for us this offseason is going to be most definitely to find more of those pieces in very important positions on the defensive side of the ball, more so than the offensive side of the ball. And I say that to say our linebackers aren't what they used to be, obviously. And Levante David is the ageless wonder as he is, but he is only getting older, and there will come a time where he's ready to hang it up, guys. And so we're going to have to get better at the linebacker position. Our defensive line is the best position that we have defensively speaking. And so, and there's the ageless one again. Gain of 3, gain of 4. And KJ Britt's out there, JJ Russell. So, we have some guys, but we need some more help there. And then obviously cornerback. If I'm Jason Light, I am drafting cornerbacks. Jesus Christ. And another no, that was the injury. Okay. So Josh Hayes, I'm drafting 3 cornerbacks and probably all 3 in the first 3. I'm literally getting the best defensive pieces that I can find because this is ridiculous. Terry got over 100 yards. Somebody check that. Where's my bro? Where's my? Does Terry have over 100 yards yet? He's got to be over 100. He's at 78. He's at 78. They called a penalty on Washington, and it was accepted. It's nice for you guys to catch on to the program. You've missed 3 holding penalties up to this point, but that's an illegal man downfield. Insane. He was definitely way too far downfield. I don't know what he's doing. All right, boys, come on now. Come on, then. Bust him. And we gotta force some turnovers here, guys. We have not done a good job getting to the football or anticipating. We've got to do we've got to do better at that. There's zero anticipation on this team. We're reacting, and that's not good. If this was a boxing fight, we'd be losing in the scorecards. Well, in theory, right? Because they don't value knockdowns the way they used to value them. Don't get me wrong. We've got knockdowns, but we got Kayvon Merriweather out there along with Josh Hayes for our 2 injured cornerbacks. So third and 5. Safety blitz. Incomplete pass. Is that Anthony Nelson in coverage? Anthony Nelson was just covering Zach Ertz. Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Impressive. It was a low throw. Yeah, he wasn't going to be able to catch that. Low throw. Here we go. 4th and 5. They're on the plus side. Only by a little bit. All right, Bucks. Let's get home, baby. Let's get home. 1 minute, 19 seconds in third quarter. 4th and 5. Get home, baby. Get home. And they can't get home. Zach Ertz catches the ball inside the 25, has it down at the 23, first down. And 10 for Washington, converting 2 of now 3 fourth downs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Come on, guys. We got to focus. We got to dig deep here. I get it, bro. We're all professionals, but do y'all want to win or what? What are we doing here? There's a part of me that wouldn't be surprised if Jamel Dean gets cut. I don't think he's going to because we need the help, but he's liable to lose his job. Yep, false start offense, back him up 5. We all saw it. That left tackle. Or Zach Ertz. So he's in that slot looking area. He don't look too well. He looked like he's hurting. That's a legendary guy right there, Zach Ertz. He was a good tight end for a long time. All right, here we go. Last play of the third quarter is going to be a run off left guard for a gain of 2, gain of 1.5, 2, give or take. And that's going to set up third down for Washington as we enter the fourth quarter. All right, guys. Well, listen, I am going to let you guys go for the evening. I have really enjoyed you guys in your company and rocking with me during this game, guys. I'm super excited to see what's going to happen next. Win, lose, or draw, the Buccaneers had an amazing season, and I've had an amazing time with you guys this season. Again, like I said, thank you for joining me on this extended reaction Palm Tree Sports episode as we are nearing episode 100. Hope to see you there, guys. Same time, same place. Next week, Sunday, 9 p.m. start time for Palm Tree Sports Radio. I look forward to seeing all you guys and talking to you about what's going on, and hopefully there'll be a Buccaneers W tonight. Guys, have a wonderful work week as we get started on Monday. Keep your loved ones close. Times are crazy. It's a full moon out there. Just, try to make the most of every moment. Don't waste any time. Love on your family. Appreciate them. We know what's going on in California. All right, keep those people in, nature, all of that in your prayers. Hopefully the best comes out of this, and we can move forward as a country into what the next few stages have in store for us. Again, until next time, you guys, my name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, this is brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I will see you next week, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Take care.